Hey y'all. Oh, welcome in. Sorry, I was having issues with the streaming software. I wasn't trying to put it on streaming software, but I was not paying attention and was trying to go live. So hopefully y'all can see everything okay. I'm going to do an overall collective energy reading. How's everybody feeling? Scorpio season. Hopefully this live is working okay. Hopefully y'all can hear me all right. Check again if someone comes on. For now, just hope that everybody can hear okay. So on the bottom we have 30, action. Take some form of action without regrets. Examine what is holding you back from taking action and cut it loose. You will get the most immediate results through acting decisively, no maybes. And that's a 3. That was on the bottom. Alright, so let's see. Guidance. My ancestors. Archangels. Higher self. Do they want me to take this? Ooh, 44 truth on the bottom. Okay, the 2 that come out is 32, courage, boldness. Step into courage despite your fears. Be willing to take a risk in order to gain more. Speak your truth. Swords energy. And the next one, 36. It's a 9. Creativity. Take a risk if you are to lead a creative life. Invite creativity into your life. Create something new for yourself. So I feel like most of us have already been feeling this action energy. Some of us, some of the collective, are feeling the push to do something. Some are just doing. They're just in Aries, kind of like Aries energy, just taking action. Because, that's number 1, which is new beginnings, taking action. 3s is kind of a waiting energy. 3 in the tarot, like on the 3 of Wands, you see the 3 wands and the guy's looking out at the waters and the ships that are coming in and waiting on the ships to come in. But this one is speaking of action. But it does say, like I said, 3s kind of represent waiting, and it does talk about in the card. Examine what is holding you back from taking action and cut it loose. So some of us are being asked to be courageous and bold, despite whatever fears pop up. Knowing that there is going to be a risk involved. The bottom of this, she's holding a sword too. This one's definitely a Libra energy. I mean, it can be air sign, but Libra energy, the scales and the sword. Instead of the holding the sword, the way the Queen does in the Queen of Swords, she's holding it kind of across her. So even though that gives me Libra balance energy, it also gives me a little bit of guarded energy. The thing that gets me about this card as well, though, it says truth, and it's a 44. 4 and 4 is 8, right? But 44 is also a master number, so traditionally we don't break those numbers down. But look at her face. She's blindfolded. So in the sense, the first thing that that I got from that was that she's blinded to the truth. But on the other sense, with her holding the scales, I feel like she knows the truth in here. He or she, we all have masculine and feminine energy. This says, remain authentic to your core values. Truth can be masked, so be objective when dealing with emotional issues. Address areas in your life that are not achieving your deepest truth. So, like I said, she has the blindfold, so maybe not seeing the truth about something, not seeing something that is blocking you, like it talks about in this action card. So, I feel like with this, if because nines are also toward the end, getting ready to start a new cycle because it goes back to 1 after 9. It goes to 10, but the 0 and you take off. And I feel like with this, with this creativity energy, that's also going to assist with this discovering of whatever this truth may be. Or I feel like there's more than one group here because I feel like with this one talks about taking action and finding out what's holding you back. This one up here talks about letting go of fear and taking, that risk to speak your truth. So some of you are aware of what this is, some of you are not, collectively, because we're all on different parts of the journey. So that's expected. Not everybody's going to be on the same page. Not everybody's going to be in the same energy. I wanted to get a card from this deck. This is the one that I call my grandmother deck. Ooh, that's a good song playing. Free with arms wide open. If you guys know that song, you may want to listen to it. It's a very good song. That song reminds me of my oldest son. It came out around the time he was born. As far as I know, I think Creed, don't quote me on this, I think his father was a preacher or pastor or something of that form. But he sings, like, to me, with Creed, his vibe is like, maybe the stuff that he wanted to do was not, kind of like black sheep energy, stepping out of the comfort zone, stepping out of being under the vise of, or under the shadow of his dad because of what his dad does. I know, like, a lot of, like, the older, back, my parents' parents, and back as far as we go on ancestors, every century religions change. I mean, a lot of them stay the same, but when it comes to the difference between the two, being religious and being spiritual, I mean, I don't like labels anyways. But to me, it's kind of like a grander expression. When you know thyself, know oneself, it's you look at things from a different perspective. So I feel like I said, I feel like there are two groups here. And for some reason, I don't know why I told that story that has to do with Creed. I'm pretty sure that's, I mean, as far as like his dad being a preacher or something like that. I remember reading it somewhere. And his songs are really, really, they speak loud. You just have to be able to decipher some of the stuff. And some of the stuff is just straightforward, but it depends on how deep you go into it as to whether or not you understand the message. And that's with anything. That's with anything in life. How deep you understand, how deep you go into it to understand the message of it. Let's see what's on the bottom of this deck that I shuffled to the grandmother deck. We had this card the other night too. Ignite. Release your potential. Let's see what message we have. Know about, be aware of. I know there's a lot of release energy, like I said, past few lives, and I started doing lives again where we were in purge energy between the eclipses. Now we're starting fresh, and a lot of us are having the courage to speak our truth, and say, look, I don't want to do this, and this can relate to anything in your life. It can have to do with jobs, it can have to do with relationships, friendships, anything like that. But it's having the courage to speak your truth and go on this new path. See, and that one's another 6. Let's see. There's 5, 6, there's 3, there's 2 4s, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that last one is a 9. It's possible some of the collective have been seeing 5s, some have been seeing 3s, 9s, 6s, or 4s. And protection, there's a 22, so now we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9, which there's a 3 and a 6, so this is another 3 and another 6. So lots of synchronistic numbers, double 3s, double 4s, double 6s, and double 2s. And here's another 9 on the bottom, dedication. Your challenges will reap rewards, but this card that we got next to Ignite is protection. Goddess has your back. And it's a 22, like I said, master number. So knowing that you are protected, you are nurtured at this time, but this can also be you protecting your own at this time as well. Your own if you have children or siblings or anything like that, but I'm getting, children just because of the visual on this card. It's definitely a mother. You've got the mother here, but then you've got the bear there. Like she's embracing the bear spirit to protect her young, her ancestor. I'm getting not ancestor. It can be protecting your heritage, like your line, your ancestral line. And I'm getting that some of this, this protection as well is some of your feminine ancestors. And it doesn't have to be male or female. It can just be whoever had more feminine energy. But in that card, that's very youthful, young energy. And then this one, dedication. Your challenges will reap rewards. And this has got a lot of nature in this card. But the vibe I'm getting with this one is the connection with nature and Gaia and everything around you. Knowing that we are one, we are connected with all things. And I feel like with this, it's just a reiteration that, they know that you're going through challenges. Your higher self knows you are, your guides, your ancestors. They're just wanting you to know that you are protected during this time. And, you know, whatever you're going through at this time, anytime anything is taken away, there's something brought in its place. That is how the law of the universe works. When one thing goes away, another thing comes in. What you have to, and like with this card, because this is the first one on the bottom, and it says, examine what is holding you back from taking action and cut it loose. I'm trying to see what it is she has on her arm. Looks like a Chinese dragon. And her makeup, kind of gives me a geisha vibe, with but like a geisha warrior, because she's holding a ninja sword. It's funny because yesterday I was just looking up swords because my daughter said she had a dream about um, a giant sword. I'm not going to go into details about the dream, but we were looking up different ninja swords or different Japanese Chinese swords to try to figure out the sword that she saw in her dream. And we came across a lot of these types of swords with the same hilt. And these are, I'm trying to remember the name of them. Samurai swords. So that's why I say I kind of get like geisha / warrior vibe with this card. Masculine, feminine balance. And I did say that with um, that Libra card, the balance energy with the scales. But with this one, like I said, I do feel like it's for some of you, it's a truth that you're not seeing, or a truth that you don't want to see, or it's something that you just, as it says, be objective when dealing with emotional issues. Truth can be masked. Address areas in your life that are not achieving your deepest truth. And trust is under that, which is a 5. I'm going to use a clarifier for this card where it talks about what's holding you back. I mean, it's going to be different for everyone because not all of us, like I said, I'm getting 2 groups in this. But if they can give us, we can get some kind of guidance on this action. What's holding the collective back? So it says no maybes. So it's either no or yes or no. No maybes. So basically, it's time to say yes to what you want to say yes to, and say no what you want to say no to, and no in between. Okay, bottom is humor. Choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. Both of these are green. It's heart chakra. Let's see what else. Any more guidance for this action card? It's holding the collective back. Fear and balance. And we have already talked about that. We talked about balance with this truth card. And we talked about fear with this courage and boldness card. So, balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. So, like I said, we did already touch on the balance energy, which I feel does relate to that truth card because we've already talked about this. And this one talks about state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so with judgment. This one says, remain authentic to your core values. Truth can be masked, so be objective when dealing with emotional issues. So, some of this can also have to do with a situation that you're dealing with at this time. But everything that we do always have to do with what's going on in here, what's going on within our soul. Are we looking at things from the lighter side, the humor side? Are we choosing, because the old version, I feel like, is this fear, being afraid. That's the old energy. And then gratitude. I am thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. So, being thankful for every single thing that you have. The things that we tend to take for granted. Just being able to taste, the five senses, having the five senses, being grateful for that, being grateful to wake up every morning, being grateful for just every single little thing that you have in your life. Walk outside and see squirrels in the trees, that kind of stuff. Those are the things that we tend to take for granted. But when it relates to this action card, because this is the one that I wanted clarification on, what is holding us back from taking action? So maybe some of us are being too critical in this time because the opposite of humor is, being critical of self during these times that things are changing and we are releasing, the old and we're creating new belief systems, new patterns of behavior. Uh, don't be hard on yourself during this time. Don't ever be hard on yourself, period. I mean, it's energy of being able to laugh at yourself when things get a little haywire, and then be grateful for the moment. Be grateful for the experience. When we have certain experiences, I know in the moment sometimes it's hard to be grateful and thankful for that. But as you have a higher understanding of the situation and yourself, and how it relates to you, then you have an appreciation for that experience because those people, that person, that job, whatever it is, showed you something about yourself that you have not seen, throughout your life. Um, Collectively, each one of you and all of you will have different things that you're seeing at this time, things that you're a lot of epiphany, aha moments, things popping into your mind like, oh man, I could have been doing this, blah, blah, blah. But it's not about looking at the coulda, woulda, shouldas, It's about balancing that energy, being grateful for every single experience, and releasing the fear, you know, knowing that this is false evidence appearing real. Fear is just a mindset. It's something that, we created as a kid, as a child. And then we became fearful of whatever. One of us have had different experiences, and we decide to, uh, as a kid, we're like, oh man, I did this and I got in trouble, and I didn't like how that felt. So I don't want to do that anymore because I don't want to experience that because it makes me feel not good or it makes me afraid or, fear. That's fear energy. That's the old version. That's the old program. Who is this? Gavin DeGraw. I Don't Want to Be is the name of the song. I don't want to be anything other than me. So I feel like that applies right now. It says everywhere I turn, I'm surrounded by imposters. I'm surrounded by identity crisis. Am I the only one that notices? Now, on the bottom of this deck is friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. So, some of you at this time, collectively, you know, making new friendships, people who are more in your energy. Like I said, like our energy will project outwards. It is projected outside of us. It's our Merkaba. It's energy. So that what we are within, we push outward and we attract that to us. And so I feel like during this time, we're going to be coming across people that are in our energy, that are resonate with our energy, and making new friends at this time, coming across new people at this time. I feel like that's also going to assist during this transitional period where things are going away, things are changing, new programs and belief systems are being created, seeds are being planted, and the main thing, talking about this block, whatever this blockage is we're being asked to, okay, in order to clear this blockage, we're going to have to see things from the lighter side, be able to laugh at yourself, be able to laugh, afterwards and say, you know what, and look at yourself in that, in that moment. Or if it gets to a heated situation, take steps back away from it and say, okay, I need a couple minutes, to collect myself. Um, Also pay attention and make sure you know if what's your energy and what's not. The more you're around another person, the energies meld, they blend. But to clear this blockage, see things, from a different perspective, you know, a allow yourself to laugh more. Um, Everything is happening for you, not to you. Remember that. Because I feel like that's what that gratitude card is. And both of these are heart chakras. So there's, a lot of you guys are going through a heart chakra awakening. Uh, excuse me, because all the healing that we've gone through and all the purging and stuff like that. And making sure that we stay in balance. Maybe some of us are a little out of balance right now because there's been lots of changes And that's, it's going to happen. Our energy is going to get a little wobbly, but we know when we're balanced and when we're not. We know our energy now. We know our own energy. Those of you that have taken time to yourself to explore your own energy, you know your own energy. And when you are in your own energy and you're in flow state and you have that harmony within yourself, you're able to handle things differently, like it says on here, without judgment. And first and foremost, it's without judgment of self. You shouldn't judge anyone, but I mean, we have the tendency to judge ourselves harshly. I mean, we're the worst judge. We're our own judge, executioner. What is it they say? Judge, executioner, critic, everything. I mean, we're harder on ourselves than anybody could ever possibly be. So, with this fear card, it does say, I realize I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. A lot of us have not lived in the energy. I want to see if you guys can read that bottom part. A lot of us have not lived in the energy of love ever. Some of us. Some of us, like a lot of us live in the energy of fear. We didn't live in the energy of love. I'm trying to get it to the bottom there. But that's another thing that's blocking. So we're testing. Opening up the heart chakra. And creating new belief systems and planting new seeds to live in the energy of love. That's what's going to get us where we need to be. Because love is the highest form of energy. It is the strongest. I mean, come on, guys. You've seen this in probably like every Disney movie ever. All of the fairy tale stories talk about, how love can break a spell. Love can bring someone out of a sleeping curse, that kind of stuff. So wouldn't we naturally think that love was the highest form of all? I mean, it makes sense. So yeah, that is what I have for the overall collective energy reading. I don't know if my live stream didn't, since the first two crashed and burned, I don't know if anybody even got notifications for this one. So, anywho, it will be up there, so whoever needs to see it will have access to it. Whoever needs the message will have access to it, because I'll have it on my tab it's on my watch list, and it's under live streams or live with Metatron Mystic. So you guys can go there to watch that. I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. Make sure you give that love to yourself. Spread that love and joy wherever you go. And that's the energy you'll get in return. So, I love y'all. Just know you're always protected. You're never alone. And probably I might come on tomorrow night and do a live. I don't know yet. I have not decided, but I appreciate you guys. And thanks for coming in, supporting the channel. Thanks for hitting like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to donate to the channel, the information is in there in the description box. I appreciate you guys, and have a beautiful evening. I'll see you next time. Bye.